Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kate went to the Carver Price home to offer her sympathies, but Abe was alone. "How is Chanel?" Kate inquired. "She's taking it pretty hard," Abe explained. Kate inquired about Paulina. "She's also taking it hard. You know, she's heartbroken for her daughter, and she blames herself for the miscarriage," Abe told me. Kate questioned why. Abe reminded Kate that Paulina had exposed Chanel to radiation. "So, she thinks that's the reason that Chanel lost the baby?" asked Kate. "Paulina thinks it could be the reason. Paulina is at the hospital right now, trying to find some answers," says Abe. Kate inquired if there was anything she could do to help. "I'll let you know." "I just appreciate your company," he said. Kate proposed Abe a business concept after the two of them joked about his coffee-making talents. Kate mentioned that she wants to make a television show. "Obviously, it would be a learning curve for both of us," she remarked. Kate maintained that she and Abe constituted an excellent combination. "Also, Abe, I really miss working with you," she continued. "I miss it, too," Abe replied. Abe inquired about a police performance, but Kate shrugged. "How would we top Law and Order?" Kate said. Abe agreed. "So, what do you have in mind?" Abe inquired. Kate told Abe that Will had encouraged her and Abe to pursue a passion project. After a minute, Abe admitted that he had become a fan of the soap show Body and Soul. Kate laughed. Abe explained why he loved the show. After showing Kate some of his favorite soap, Abe requested her opinion. Kate agreed that the show was intriguing. "My only concern is that I read somewhere that soaps are a dying genre," Kate told me. Abe contended that many shows stole storylines from soap operas. "Maybe we could shoot it here. And perhaps that would be cheaper," she replied. Kate stated that she would be willing to invest and that she knew of a few people who may as well. Abe grinned. "I think we are going to do this," Abe stated. Kate recommended they begin researching. "I am really excited," Kate added. Abe agreed. At the hospital, Paulina spoke with Kayla about Chanel's discharge. Kayla stated that she did not know, but Chanel was physically well. "Is there anything I can do to help?" Kayla inquired. Paulina claimed she had been unable to sleep since she didn't know if she was the source of Chanel's discomfort. "Miscarriages are more common than people think, and it could have been caused by any number of things," Kayla told me. Paulina maintained that the physicians had not ruled out the possibility that radiation was the reason. "Chanel blames me. I blame myself. So, I need to know. Now, is there any way to tell for certain what caused my daughter's miscarriage?" Paulina was curious. Kayla consented to review Chanel's chart, but reminded Paulina that she could not discuss it without Chanel's permission. "That's fine. Even if it turns out I was at fault, at least she won't have to live with the uncertainty," she added. Chanel wiped away tears as she told Johnny about her dream in her hospital room. "We were at our baby shower. And I had this huge belly. And all our friends and family were there. And we were all so excited to meet our child," Chanel told me. Johnny smiled as Chanel narrated her shower experience. "I was so happy, Johnny, and so were you," Chanel whispered. A tear streamed down Johnny's cheek as he smiled at Chanel. "And then I woke up, and I realized that we would never, ever meet Noel because he or she is no longer with us," Chanel told me. Johnny climbed into Chanel's bed and held her as she began to sob. When Chanel cooled down, she asked Johnny if he had spoken with Peyton Russo. Johnny shook his head. "No. I left him a message last night, but I haven't heard back from him," Johnny stated. Johnny pointed out that the director had more pressing concerns to address than Johnny's absence. Johnny received a call from Peyton. After a brief phone discussion, Johnny hung up. Johnny confirmed that he'd been replaced on set. "Maybe you could join the production at a later time?" Chanel asked. Johnny chuckled and stated that he didn't want to be anywhere other than with Chanel. Paulina was pacing the corridor as Johnny wheeled Chanel's wheelchair out of her hospital room. "Are you going home?" Paulina inquired. Chanel looked away from Paulina, and Johnny stated that Dr. Green had released her. As Johnny began to wheel Chanel away, Paulina requested to say something first. "I don't want to talk right now," Chanel grumbled. "I promise it won't take long. I just want to say how sorry I am. If I could go back in time, I would do things differently. And I love you to the moon and back. And I never meant to harm you and your unborn child. Now, if you never forgive me, I get it. But even if you do, I will regret what I did the rest of my life," she said. Chanel requested Johnny to take her home. Johnny started wheeling Chanel away when Kayla returned. "Chanel, I'm glad I caught you. I was just reviewing your lab results, and I think there's something you should know," Kayla said me. "What did you find out?" Chanel inquired. Kayla volunteered to talk discreetly, but Chanel pushed her to speak openly. "Dr. Green knew that you had some concerns about the cause of the miscarriage. So, he ran some more tests, and the results just came back," Kayla told me. Paulina inquired as to whether the reason had been radiation exposure. "It wasn't. You had what's called a partial molar pregnancy. It's something that happens at conception. It's not very common, and if you like, I can certainly get you some information on it. But basically, the fetus wasn't viable from the very beginning," Kayla told me. Chanel inquired if this meant she was always doomed to miscarry. Kayla nodded in agreement. Chanel rose to her feet, tears running down her cheeks, and hugged her mother. "Ma, I am so sorry that I blamed you for everything," Chanel said me. "You shush. You have absolutely nothing to apologize for," Paulina urged. "But I was so cold to you, so mean," Chanel responded. Paulina assured Chanel that everything would be fine. Kayla advised Chanel that they would need to observe her for several months. Johnny, worried, inquired as to why. "It's unlikely, but just to make sure there's no complications," Kayla informed me. Worried, Paulina asked Kayla whether she could remotely watch Chanel in Los Angeles. Chanel stated that this was not necessary because they had opted to stay in Salem. Stephanie paid a visit to Marlena in the penthouse and informed her that Steve had been released from the hospital. "But I'm guessing you didn't ask me here for an update on my dad," she continued. Marlena informed Stephanie that Everett hadn't made much progress. "Bobby is still in control," Marlena stated. Marlena explained that she and the Bayview staff wanted Stephanie to speak with Bobby since she knew Everett well. "That's why you asked me to come here?" Stephanie asked. Marlena nodded in agreement. Stephanie stated that, despite their close relationship, she had not spent enough time with Everett to get to know him. "Wouldn't a relative be better?" Stephanie inquired. Marlena mentioned that she had no information about Everett's relatives. "At the moment, you're our best option," Marlena stated. Stephanie agreed to help. Marlena reminded Stephanie that Bobby was a volatile person. "I'll do whatever I can to get Everett back," Stephanie stated. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.